Hello and welcome to the 118th episode of the Brian Hornback Experience. This is just going to kind of get people caught up on where we're at and what's been going on this month of January. Main thing I want to talk to you about, because today is January 31st, okay? And so on February the 18th, the Knox County Republican Party will reorganize. Chairman Herrera, as I'm sure you've read on brianhornback.com, is not seeking the chairmanship. And so that means that when the party gets together, we've got to select a new chairman. We need to select a vice chair because that position is currently vacant because Lane Davis, who had that position when the party reorganized 2 years ago, had taken a leave of absence to become a candidate for state representative. She's since been elected. She was seated on the first full week of January in Nashville. So she's at work in Nashville Monday through Thursday. Matter of fact, saw her during one of the committee meetings earlier today. So I wasn't in Nashville, was here at the house, at the office today. And so watched some committee meetings today. Nashville has gotten started off. This is their first full week. And so it's gotten off on some trans bills. And we'll talk about that more on another episode. But let's talk about the reorganization of the Knox County Republican Party. Right now, what we know is that Keith Lyon is a candidate for chair. Janice Cry, the current treasurer, has announced that she's running for vice chair. I've been told that Sherry Garrett, who had ran for school board back in last year in the 7th district, I understand she's at least voiced some interest. I haven't heard of anyone running for secretary because and I'm not sure if Rob Gray, the current secretary, if he's planning to run again or not. Treasurer, I've been told that Martin Ammons, a guy that's been active in the West Knox Republican Club and has helped start a conservative club in South Knoxville, is interested in running for treasurer. There's also an assistant treasurer position that will need to be filled as well. So that's kind of where we're at. We have Keith Lyon, Janice Cry, Martin Ammons for sure. So the way this thing goes is the reorganization will happen on February the 18th. That's a Saturday. Scheduled to start at 10 a.m. Check-in is going to be somewhere between 8:30 and 9. It's going to be at the Crown College of the Bible out in Powell. You need to go to the TennesseeGOP.org website to put in your interest to attend. I'm pulling that website up as we speak. So when you go to the TNGOP.org website, you're going to see 2023 County Party Reorganization, and you're going to see a register here. You need to click on that. You need to put in your first and last name, your email address, your phone number, and your address, and your county. That's all you have to put, and then you have to put register. What's going to happen is the Contest or Credentials Committee will see that. Everyone on the Contest Credentials Committee and the 6 state executive committee members, there are 6 of us. I am one. There's 6 of us that have portions of Knox County. So in the 5th district, that's Lieutenant Governor's district. They have, that's Tim Hutchison and Terry Frank. They have Loudon, Anderson, and they dip into, come in through Powell and dip into the center of the city. Then in the 6th district, which is the district I represent, starts just right there, just on the Halls side of Powell, compasses in all of Halls along the Union County line, comes through Gibbs, Corrington, Ritta, picks up a little bit of Shannondale, goes all the way through East Knox County, South Knox County, and then comes all the way down into West Knox County through Sequoia, through Rocky Hill down into Bluegrass and Concord. So that's the 6th district. And then the 7th district, Jane Chedister and I, by the way, represent the 6th district. And then the 7th district is represented by Karen Brown and Kent Morrell. They have Farragut all the way around Hardin Valley, Carnes, until they meet somewhere around Powell, where the 5th district comes in. So those are the 6 folks who are on the SEC. We too will have access to see the voting history of those who register, because we will be looking at the Contest and Credentials Committee. We'll be looking at your voting record. You need to have voted in 3 out of the last 4 state and federal primaries. So what we're talking about is August of 2022. We're talking about August of 2020. We're talking about March of 2020. We're talking about August of 2018. So those are the last 4. So you need to have voted in 3 out of those 4 in order to participate as a delegate. So that's what you need to have voted in 3 out of those 4. And then if you haven't, then it's going to be up to the state executive committee member for the area that you are in to whether you meet the standard or not. So anyway, that's to be a participant. As far as the other folks, Contest or Credentials Committee will evaluate the candidates for chair, and then on the 18th we will reorganize. That's kind of the simplistic point of it. If someone wants to be a candidate for chair of the Knox County Republican Party, they have to email the Contest or Credentials Committee by the Saturday before. So by I'm assuming close of business, or by 11:59 on Saturday, February 11th, you need to have emailed the Contest or Credentials Committee only if you're seeking the position of chair. That way they can print the ballot for the chair contest. The other positions do not have to declare in advance of the convention. That is the convention. This past weekend, up in Jefferson County, they reorganized. My friend David posted on Facebook, and I wish I had pulled it up. He had the most succinct explanation for how to participate in the county convention. So I'm sure I'll be back on here before February the 18th, and we'll go over that again. Let's talk about what's happening in 2023, and that is the City of Knoxville elections. Today, as I've already indicated, is January 31st. Today, financial disclosures were due for those individuals who are who have named treasurers for the 2023 city elections. Mayor Kincannon put out a press release, and that's on brianhornback.com. She's raised more than $100,000 since the last report in July. And so she's sitting on about $122,000, I believe it is. Let's just run through that because that's on my website, brianhornback.com. Mayor Kincannon is sitting on, she's sitting on about, that's a different post. Anyway, also Keith Lyon, who I mentioned is running for Republican Party chair, had appointed a treasurer back in July for a possible mayoral run. When I asked him, when he had announced that he was running for party chairman, I asked him, and he said he was still pursuing the mayoral race. As of 1:30 this afternoon, which he had till 4:30 today, to file his financial disclosure. One had not been filed yet, but in July he had not raised any money, had not spent any money, didn't have any money on hand, didn't have any loans, didn't have any obligations. Another candidate, Constance Every, she did file a financial disclosure earlier this month, and she has 19 cents, but she filed her report, and Constance is the one that ran fourth in the governor's race last year. Got about 10,000 votes from here in Knoxville, And so she is planning to run against American candidate as well. Also, another candidate, Kerry Williams, he had just filed his appointment of treasurer on December 30th. So I'm sure his financial disclosure will be coming in. City Council at-large seat A, so far incumbent Lynn Fugit is announced that she's running. She's raised money. She has an opponent in Cameron Brooks. Sorry about that. Cameron Brooks, not Speaker Cameron Sexton. I think he's very happy as Speaker of the Tennessee House. But Fugit had, just from what she had in July, from what she's raised, and the little that she spent so far, she's got about a little more than $23,000 in the bank. Brooks had about 17 grand. He's raised about another 19 grand. He's only spent about $900. So he's got $35,000 on hand. He does have a $11,000 loan. So, you know, you take the loan out, which obviously you would assume that at the end of the campaign, either he's going to self-finance that $11,000 or he's going to pay himself back. But if you take the $11,000 out of his $35,000, puts him and Fugit about the same money-wise. City Council at-large seat B, Janet Testerman does have an appointment of treasurer from the last campaign. Back in July, she had $947 on hand. She had not filed a report as of today. She does have a challenger in Debbie Helsley, and Debbie Helsley did file a report on January the 25th. She has raised $20,000. She spent $800 and some dollars. So she's got $20,122 on hand. She has no loans and no obligations. And then we get then to the City Council at-large seat C race. Amelia Parker is the incumbent. She had $835 back in July. She has not filed a report as of 1:30 today. But challenger Tim Hill, who is the chairman of the Knox Planning, the commission, what I've always known it to be the Metropolitan Planning Commission, he did timely file on January 25th. He had $76,000 on hand. He's raised $68,000. He spent $16,000. So he's got $128,000 on hand for this at-large seat C race. Challenger Matthew Best had not filed a report as of 1:30 today, but I understand that he intends to have his report filed tomorrow, being February the 1st. That then takes us to the other city council race that's going to happen in 2023, and that is Charles Thomas out in the 5th District. That's really a Fountain City, and I think it goes on into like Holston Hills. He had $20.62 last August. As of 1:30, he too had not filed his report. Knoxville City Judge, our municipal judge, I call it the city judge. I think the ballot's going to call it the municipal judge, John Rosin. He did timely file on January 25th. He had $921 on hand. He added $187 due to a bank reconciliation, and he spent $1,140. So he's got $31.77 on hand. I don't know of any attorney in town that would want to take Judge Rosin on. I remember him having one opponent back in the 90s, but Judge Rosin is a good municipal judge, and he does a great job. If you'd like to see all these folks' pictures, they're all on the story that I put up called City of Knoxville Campaign Financials for 2023. Some of them I had to get off Facebook. Some of them I got from the city website. Tim Hills I got from the Knoxville Planning website, but I cite the source for all those pictures. But if you want to see all these candidates, you can see them. We have plenty of time. The primary is not till the end of August. The general is in November of 2023, so we have plenty of time for people to get in these races to raise money, which then takes me to another thing. If you're even thinking that, you know what, maybe I want to be a candidate. Maybe I want to be a poll worker. Maybe I want to work, helping people vote during early vote or on election day. Well, coming up on March the 4th, there's still a little time out, so we'll continue to advertise it from 9 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. That's a Saturday, March the 4th, from 9 a.m. to 12:30. The Knox County Election Commission will have a program called Knox County Elections 101. It's really in preparation for the City of Knoxville 2023 election. It's a seminar. It's for individuals that are considering running for office, if you're interested in being a poll worker or just an interested voter. They're going to talk about the types of elections, the methods of voting, what candidates need to know before they run for office, the important role that poll workers play in conducting elections, and a lot more. There's no cost to attend it, but you must pre-register. And so that pre-registration is up on brianhornback.com as well. Threw a whole lot of things at you within about 16 minutes. It kind of get you caught up. Probably be coming back in the next day or two to talk about some things that have been going on in the county. Probably do something tomorrow morning to talk about some things that have happened in December and January. The school system's still looking for land in southwest Knox County. That's North Shore, Choteau area. They're technically tied on a contract for some property down around Virtue Road that I exposed the bad deal that was. Sadly, the school board and the county commission back in August, that was some lame duck commissioners and some lame duck school board members approved it, but it had to come back for an amendment because some things had not actually happened. And so that is on hold right now. The janitorial contract starts tomorrow. So Duncan and Sons Janitorial is supposed to have 50 janitors in, I think it was 17 schools. I'll double check that, but I'll be checking with the school system on that. Also, there's been some story put up yesterday about how the school system was going to try to charge more money for these youth football leagues to use their football fields, the practice fields, all the grass, the common area, the cafeteria. They were going to double the price, and so that's going on. But just a lot of things going on. Belltown development out in Powell passed the county commission. A development that's going to have different types of housing, both apartments, single family, townhomes, going to have some commercial, going to have some other community, community type assets. It's going to be larger than the city of Oliver Springs. I think I remember hearing larger than Jonesboro, or Jacksboro, which is just outside of La Follette, I believe. But it passed commission with 12 stipulations. 11 were the stipulations that the Planning Commission had put on it, and then another stipulation was that they should immediately begin to take care of a grave site where a Civil War veteran was buried, and that's on that property. Smith Built is the developer on that, and I'm sure they're going to be working to remedy all that and get that in place. So those are the kind of things that have been going on in January. Still have the issue of the McAllister situation with the sheriff's department and Anaya Thompson. Still got to talk about the situation in Memphis. 5 officers facing second-degree murder for the murder of Tyree Nichols. Another officer, which was Preston Hemphill, was placed on leave after the 4 body cams were released on Friday. He's the one that says, I hope they stomp his. And so he's on leave. 3 folks that work for the Memphis Fire Department are now relieved of duty pending an investigation. 2 EMTs and a paramedic because obviously they didn't render aid. If you watched the videos, if you didn't watch the videos, I respect that. I did watch the videos Friday as they were released. It was horrific, unlike anything that I'd ever seen. Unlike Rodney King, unlike could be compared to George Floyd. The most disturbing about Memphis is that it wasn't just one or two officers, but it was multiples. Obviously, 5 individuals all took part in Tyree Nichols' death. And unfortunately, the city of Memphis, the police chief, and the city council, the elected officials, the district attorney, everybody is on board and has dealt with this issue swiftly. So, you know, it's a travesty, and we'll get into more of that later, but clearly something's not working. When you have nearly 10 people on a scene and no one stops what was happening, that's a problem. That's an institutional problem. And it's a problem that I think we all thought was going on. But, you know, what we think's going on, what we perceive going on, and what's really going on, sometimes, you know, you just assume that it's not really as bad as you think it is. But unfortunately, that's a situation that I think people's worst fears were realized in the death of Tyree Nichols. From all I understand, and you know, don't even know why, we have no video of why he was stopped. So, you know, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, thanks for tuning in to this, whatever I said it was, the 118th episode of the Brian Hornback Experience. Hope this gets you caught up, and we'll be back real soon. So, y'all hang in there.